This is your actual Thevenin's theorem. Here from this point we are going to see in detail about your Thevenin's theorem. So before going to the Thevenin's theorem, let us see what is the need of Thevenin's theorem one more time. Let's within 2 to 3 minutes. So in any circuit, so what is our ultimate aim? What is our ultimate aim? We have to find some current or voltage. By using this current voltage, we are going to find power. That is, we have to find current, voltage, power. So our calculations revolves around finding this current, voltage and power at across any element. Already we have seen in the introduction to Thevenin's theorem, like without using any theorem, we are trying of calculating the current through this 8 ohms, and we got some value of 15 by something of 37 amps we got. There we won't use any theorem, we haven't taken the help of any superposition theorem, just we have applied a basic laws. We have applied somewhere we have denoted current, we have distributed the currents, and after distributing the current we have applied KVL and we got some 3 equations and we have solved the 3 equations and we have obtained our resultant required value. So this thing we have done in the previous video. So those who haven't seen that previous video, that is of introduction to Thevenin's theorem, just go through it. You will find that that video makes you this introduction, this Thevenin's theorem easy. So anyway we have to find response across any element. So what we have done, so we got some equation. First equation something of 2 into I1, something we got 2I1 plus 4I2 which is equal to 20. This is your first equation by applying KVL in this first loop. Next we got second equation as minus 4I1 plus 8I2 minus 2I3 which is equal to 8. This is your second equation by applying KVL in this loop, and we got minus 12 I1 plus 12 I2 plus 14 I3, so which is equal to minus 4. We got as a third equation. We have solved these 3 equations and we got some I1, I2 and I3. For example, in that example we are trying to find the response across these 8 ohms. If I change these 8 ohms to, if I change these 8 ohms to 12 ohms, if I change this 8 ohms to 12 ohms, so what are the changes you will get? Here you will apply some first loop, this is your first loop, and this is your second, and this is your third. So there is no any change in the equation of first and second, because we are trying to change here. You will get change in this third equation. It means that again we have to simplify these 3 equations again. We have to apply I1 here, that is of loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. Again we have to solve this equation. Again we have to find I1, I2, I3. If I change this to 16 ohms, again you will get a different equation for third equation. It means that whenever you change the load, if I consider whenever I change the resistance value where I want to find the response, each and every time I need to do some procedure. Each and every time I need to calculate individual resistances. This resistance value changes, this resistance value changes, this resistance value also changes. It means that every time I need to start the same procedure. I need to start from same point. Otherwise, if I use a superposition theorem, is there any help of superposition theorem? With the help of superposition theorem, what you will do? So you will consider 10 volts you will short these two, you will find some current. By considering this 8 volts, by shorting these two, you will find some current. By considering this 4 volts, by shorting these two, 20 and 8, you will find some current. You will add it, you will get the current flowing to this. If I change this 16 to 20 ohms, with the help of superposition theorem also, again we have to start from the again we have to start by considering each and every voltage source, each and every source independently. Again we have to find the response. It is a very tedious process, it takes more time. So is there any way which makes our analysis easy? So in this, what we are doing, you can find, like we are changing the load, or we are changing the element value where we want to find the response. That is nothing but we are taking choices. We are taking choices for load. If I consider this is a load, is nothing but where you want to find the response. So we are taking a choices. If you want to take a choice, if there is a necessity of choice, if you follow the normal procedure like applying superposition theorem or by applying the KCL and KVL, you have to start for each choice you have to start from first point only. For each choice you have to start from first point. For this only we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 5 resistors only, for 5 resistors and 5 to 6 resistors and 3 voltage sources. For this simple circuit also, it is taking some more time, but in the practically the circuits contains n number of hundreds of resistors, it contains a complex circuit, contains n number of elements. So for that circuit, if I want to go for choice, for the load, and if I want to analyze that circuit with the help of basics KCL and KVL, with the help of superposition theorem, it makes a sense, or it makes our work easy? No. So what is the way? That way is given by a great scientist, Thevenin. He made our work easy. Instead of going for each and every, if I like for 20 ohms, if I consider for 30 ohms, if I want to consider for 40 ohms, I want to check the circuit response. I want to find the current in this branch at various options, at various voltage levels, at various ohms, or at various resistance levels. I want to find at 200 ohms. For different values, I want to find the currents. So the normal procedure won't work, even though the superposition theorem also won't work in this situation. So this is a situation is called as selected, like for a selected value, for selected load, we are finding response. So a Thevenin's theorem is, it is a specific purpose. With the help of Thevenin's theorem, we can find a specific response across an element. That's why Thevenin's theorem is called as, it is a specific response theorem. At a specific load, we are going to find some response without starting from the first point. So how that will be done, we are going to see here. So what is the use of Thevenin's theorem? For example, if I have a circuit, like this, so with the help of, for example, I have a voltage source somewhere here, one resistor here, one more resistor, some current source, some resistor, something like some voltage source, right? Here I am having a resistor. So according to Thevenin's theorem, we can replace. So I want to find response across this element. So with the help of Thevenin's theorem, we can replace this total circuit, into into 1 voltage source and in equivalent to 1 resistor. This voltage source is called as VTH. This voltage source is called as VTH. This resistor is called as RTH.
And to this point we'll connect our element where you want to find the resistance. So with the help of Thevenin's theorem, we are going to replace the total circuit except where you want to find the load with a simple circuit which is having two elements, that is, one is voltage source and the next one is resistance. The voltage source value is called as VTH and the resistance value is called as RTH.
That we are going to see how to find this VTH and how to find this RTH. With the help of RTH and VTH, we can have n number of choices. So, if this total circuit is replaced with a single, that is of one voltage source and one resistor, if this total circuit is replaced with
One voltage source
VTH and one resistor, here you can connect any load. I can connect 8 ohms. For 8 ohms, this is your RTH. This total circuit is replaced. So, if I want to find current through this 8 ohms, we can easily find. If I replace this 8 ohms with the 10 ohms, we can easily find. How will you find? By applying your VTH. I is equal to, total current is equal to the same amount of current flows through this RTH and this 10 ohms. The total current is equal to total voltage by total resistance, that is RTH plus your 10 ohms. If I replace this 20 ohms, I can find easily. The simple equation we can find. If I consider 200 ohms also, we can find easily. So, we are going to see how to replace the total circuitry except where you want to find the response into a simple circuit which is having a voltage source and a resistance, that is VTH and RTH. Let us see. So for Thevenin's theorem, just follow 5 simple steps. Just remember these 5 simple steps. You will be able to find you can able to solve any circuitry very easily. The first point, remember first point. What is the first point? Very simple point. Resistance in which response should be calculated is denoted by a load resistance RL. So according to the step 1, what Thevenin's is telling, response where you want to find. I want to find the current in this 8 ohms. My aim is I want to find current in this 8 ohms. The resistance in which response should be calculated is denoted by load resistance. So just denote that resistance with load resistance, that is RL. RL equal to what is the value? 8 ohms. Just we have denoted and in the first step only we have to do one more thing and remove it. So we have to remove this resistance. Just remove it. I have removed the resistance. First step only. In the first step only we have to remove. What we have done? Just we have denoted that resistance with the load resistance RL and we have removed comma. Show here we got, by removing this resistance, here we got some open terminals. Have you observed? Here we got some open terminals. So that open terminals with some letters, like this is the open terminal and this is one more open terminal. Just denote with some A and this is your B. So this is your step 1. In the step 1 what we have done? Nothing we have done. So you can find not only here 8 ohms, you can find the response. You can select any value. At 2 ohms if I want to find the response, then I need to remove this one. If I want to find response across 4 ohms, I need to remove this one. So wherever you want to find, that is denoted with RL and remove that, and at open terminal just denote with some letters. This is your first step. Now we came to second point. That is your second step. For every problem, just follow these steps only. First step, we have denoted the element with RL and just we have removed and we have denoted with that open terminals with A and B. Second step, do current distribution. Do current distribution in the circuit. Why I have considered introduction to the Thevenin's theorem problem to make this video or to make this Thevenin's theorem explanation easy. That's why I have considered that problem. So do current distribution in the circuit by KCL. So let us do some current distribution. So let us see. So this is your I1 current. I1 current is entering to this point. Let us see, this is your A and this is your B and this is your C, sorry, A dash, B dash, C dash. Let us consider this is your D dash, this is your E dash and this is your F dash. So the current I1 is entering to this point and let us consider current into this is I2. Then what will be the current in this one? I1 minus I2. Now tell me, I1 minus I2 is current reaching to this C dash. Whether is there any division? Is there any current flow in this 4 ohms? No. The current in this one is 0 because it is open. So whatever the current coming into this node, directly it takes the diversion into this 2 ohms. So current in this one is I1 minus I2. Okay. At this point, how much amount of current it reaches? I1 minus I2. Here you got I1 minus I2. So this I1 minus I2, whether it goes to into this direction B dash to B? No, because it is open. So it's the same, it will goes like this. This is your I1 minus I2. I1 minus I2. So the same amount of current reaches to E dash. So how much amount of current is coming? I2 current is coming. From this section, I1 minus I2 is coming. Summation takes place. So here, how much amount of current you will get? I1. So whether we have done correct distribution? Yes. How can we say we have done the current distribution correctly? Because whatever the current is going out from the 20 volts, that is reaching to the same point. Same I1 current is going and it is passing through some branches and it is coming into the negative polarity of your 20 volts. So we have done current distribution correct. We have done current distribution correct. Next what you have to do? Identify loops. In the step 2 only we have to identify loops. Now let us identify loops. How many loops are there? So this is your A dash, B dash, E dash, F dash, A dash. This is your first loop. Next, second loop, B dash, C dash, D dash, E1 dash, B dash. This is your second small loop. Next, A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash, F dash. This is your third loop, which includes first and second loop. So among this, apply. I want to find how many variables are there. 2 variables, I1 and I2. But we have 3 loops. But we require only 2 equations. So apply loop equation here. Let us consider this is your first loop and this is your second loop. And in this the current direction is, this is your current direction, this is your current direction and this is your current direction. And this is your current direction. This is your current direction, current direction. This is your current direction, this is your current direction. What we have done? Do current distribution in the circuit by KCL. We have done already. Identify loops. Already we have done. And apply KVL. Then next one is we have to apply KVL. We have to apply KVL. You can follow any convention. Like directly I am considering a second convention, that is of, so we can write directly by applying KVL to this circuit. So 2 into I1. So 2 into I1. So 2 I1 the current in this one is 2I1. So into this, the same direction it is flowing. So 2I2, sorry 4I2, 4I2, 2I1, 4I2. In this, the 4I2 is flowing. Here, do we have anything? No. And it is pointing to negative. So minus 20 equal to 0. This is your equation number 1. From this, we will get 2I1 plus 4I2 is equal to 20. We got equation number 1. Next, apply to this B dash, C dash, D dash, E1 dash and B dash. By applying, so the voltage it is, so in this branch the current direction, this is the current direction, and our loop current direction is also same. So 4 into I1 minus I2. So don't get any confusion, you can apply any convention. So 4 into I1. Now see, to this branch we have completed B dash to C dash. Now C dash to B dash. In C dash to D dash we are having 2 ohms resistance, and the current flowing is I1 minus I2, and that is from in the downward direction. So what is our loop direction? It is also downward. So plus 2 into I1 minus I2 plus 2 into I1 minus I2. Now we have completed C dash to D dash. Now D dash to E1, D dash to E1, E dash, D dash to E dash. So the current direction, just see that the current is entering into positive. So let us consider plus, the value is 8. The value is 8. This is also the same direction, and our loop is pointing towards your positive. So plus 8. Next, let us come to this branch, E dash to B dash, B dash to E dash to B dash. We have 4 ohms resistor, and our loop direction is upward, but the actual current flowing is downward. It is in opposite direction. So minus 4 into I2. Minus 4 into I2, which is equal to 0. This is your second equation. Just solve it. 4I1 minus 4I2 plus 2I1 minus 2I2 plus 8 minus 4I2 is equal to 0. 4I1, 2I1, 6I1. Next, minus 4I2 minus 2I2 minus 4I2, that is minus 10 into I2, which is equal to minus 8. This is your equation number 2. Here we got 2 equations, that is 6I1 minus 10I2 equal to minus 8 and 2I1 plus 4I2 equal to 20. Just solve this 2 equations, you will get I1 minus I1 comma I2 values. Now let us come to your step 3. So according to the Thevenin's, so here we have removed the terminal where you want to find response, So for example, if I enclose the remaining circuit in a box, so if I observe from this section, if I am here, if I see this circuit, from this side, so what can I able to see? Only these 2 terminals. If I enclose this total in box, so I will see only these 2 terminals. And if I connect this it is like a 2-port network, like it looks like one box and with 2 terminals coming out. So according to the Thevenin's, he tells he says, so whenever you see from the terminal side, it looks like a two-port network which is having two ports, first port, second port, two-port network which is having a two terminals. So if I connect a voltage source, if I connect a voltmeter, if I connect a voltmeter between these two terminals, if I connect a voltmeter between these two terminals, this voltmeter measures some voltage. Absolutely, this voltmeter measures. This is from according to Thevenin's opinion. So what he is telling that, so whenever you connect a voltmeter between these two open terminals, this voltmeter measures some current, some voltage. This voltmeter measures some voltage. What will be the meaning of this voltage? What is this voltage? So this voltage is nothing but some voltage which is created by this box. So this voltage is nothing but whatever the voltage which is measured by this voltmeter is nothing but this is a voltage which is created by this circuit according to the Thevenin's opinion. According to Thevenin's opinion, the voltmeter, the value measured by the voltmeter is the voltage which is created by this circuit. Now we are going to find that voltage. How we are going to find that voltage? By following a step 3. So what is the step 3? Here we have to find VTH. That voltage if you want to find, that is VTH is nothing but Thevenin's voltage. If you want to find this Thevenin's voltage, to find this VTH, assume a imaginary voltage source acting across these open terminals. Just assume a imaginary voltage source. Assume a imaginary voltage source acting across these terminals. Assume a imaginary voltage source acting across these terminals. So here I am assuming a voltage source. Here I am assuming one voltage source across these terminals. I am assuming, and I am giving a name with some value of VTH. This is nothing but VTH, or you can call this as a VOC, that is of open circuit terminal voltage. So how to find this VTH? You can assume positive, negative, or negative, positive. So there is no any problem. So there is no any restriction that you have to keep like this only. Positive in the top side and negative in the bottom side. This is your positive and negative. Always you need to keep like this. So no need, there is no any restriction. You can keep in any way. Now, if I want to find this VTH, so we need to apply KVL. Now let us see how many loops are there. So this is your, for example, A, B, C, something, C dash, B dash, D dash, and this is your D dash, E dash, F dash. So now we are having, in how many loops are there? This is your first loop, second loop, third loop, and this is your first, second, third, and fourth, fifth, and this is your sixth loop. Totally 6 loops we are having, but we need a loop which includes VTH. We need to apply a KVL to the loop which includes this VTH, because we need only this VTH na. So you can apply to this loop, outer loop. If I consider A dash, B dash, C dash, A, B, D dash, E dash, F dash, A. So if I consider this loop, this loop includes the VTH. And if I consider B dash, C dash, A, B, D dash, E dash, B dash, this loop also includes this VTH. And let us consider this loop. So among these 3 loops, which one is a simple loop? C dash, A, B, T dash, C dash. So always we go for a simple calculations. So let us consider this loop. So before that, denote your, previously we have denoted some current directions. Just continue that current directions. So now in this section, step 3, what we have done? Just we have assumed a VTH, that is your open circuit voltage, that is your imaginary voltage source acting across open terminals. And here remember this point. Actually in the previous step 2, this is the open terminal. That's why the current flowing in this 4 ohms is 0. So after connecting this VTH and VOC, don't try to distribute the current at this point. Don't try to, because of it is a closed circuit, so some current flows, so just don't do it. Just follow the distribution, just previous distribution only, just follow. So in the previous distribution, what is the current in this 4 ohms? 0. So follow the same power distribution, just don't do bifurcation of current, don't do bifurcation of current at this node. Now let us apply KVL to this loop. By applying KVL to this loop, here the current is 0. So automatically, so no need to consider this 4 ohms like voltage drop. So let us come to this one. So it is the loop direction is pointing towards your positive terminal of your VTH. Just write here, apply your KVL, then here I can write plus VTH, and it is pointing towards your negative polarity of your 4 volts. So write minus 4. Now we have completed C dash to A. C dash to A, 0 current flowing. So according to the previous bifurcation, the current flowing in this one is 0. So the voltage drop becomes 0. So no need to consider this voltage drop. Here the 0 voltage drop. Here plus VTH and A to B and B to D dash, it is minus 4 ohms. Next. So this is your loop current direction and this is your branch current direction. How this loop current direction and branch current direction are in opposite direction. So this is your 2 ohms. So because of opposite direction, let us consider minus 2 into the current flowing is I1 minus I2. I1 minus I2, which is equal to 0. So from this we can write VTH is equal to, from this we can write VTH is equal to, if you take that into RHS part, 4 plus 2 into I1 minus I2. 4 plus 2 into I1 minus I2. Now tell me, do we have any value of I1 comma I2? Yes. From the step 2 we got I1 equal to 42 by 11 and I2 equal to 34 by 11. Just substitute this 42 by 11, 34 by 11 in this equation VTH. By substituting that, here you will get VTH is equal to, here you will get VTH equal to 60 by 11 volts. 60 by 11 volts. So this is the thing you have to do. Just substitute here. Because the video is going to be length, so just substitute. Here you will get VTH equal to 60 by 11. So now we came to fourth step. Just before last step, just have some patience. See. So step 4, find RTH. Till now we have, in the third step we got your VTH value. Now we are trying to find RTH. While finding,
We need to follow two cases, whether it is having dependent sources or not in a circuit. For dependent sources, we need to follow other steps. We need to follow different steps. Like in this, if you observe here, do we have any dependent sources? No, we don't have any dependent sources in the circuit. So, if a circuit contains only independent sources,
we have to find RTH by replacing a voltage source, that is of independent voltage source with short, and replace current source. If your circuit contains only independent sources, it may be a voltage source or current source. If you have a current source, just replace with open circuit. Already we have done in superposition theorem. Same thing we have to do. What do you mean by RTH? RTH is nothing but the resistance between these A and B terminals. The resistance which appears between these A and B terminals. So for finding this RTH, we have to do the, if you want to replace the voltage source, just replace with the short circuit and replace the current source, that is independent voltage source and independent current sources. If you have your circuit contains only independent sources, In that, if you want to replace a voltage source, just replace with the short and replace with the open circuit. By applying these two steps, the circuit becomes like this. Just observe here. So this is the equivalent circuit.
By replacing the voltage sources, here you are having voltage source 20 volts, the 20 volts is replaced with a short line, and here you are having a one more voltage source that is 8 volts, that is replaced with a single short line, and here you have a voltage source that is 4 volts, that is replaced with a shorted line. We don't have any current source. If I have a current source, then I would have replaced with the open circuit. Now I need to find the equivalent resistance between A and B. For finding equivalent resistance between A and B, just follow like we have done with the series and parallel and star delta. So here, by seeing the circuit, there is no necessity of going for star and delta connection. We can simply find with the help of your series and parallel. If you have observed here, this 2 ohms and 4 ohms. How these 2 ohms and 4 ohms? We can draw the circuit like this. We can draw the same circuit like the 2 ohms is starting from this point. Just right here 2 ohms, and this 4 ohms is also starting from the same point. So I can draw this is your 4 ohms. How this 2 ohms and 4 ohms? So this is your 2 ohms, 4 ohms, and here you are having one more 4 ohms, and this is your 2 ohms, and this is your 4 ohms, and this is the point of A, and this is the point of B. Now tell me, this is your 2 ohms and this is your 4 ohms. How these two are? These two are looking like a parallel. So you can replace these 2 ohms and 4 ohms which are in parallel. What you will get here? By replacing these two, here you are having a 4 ohms and you are having a 2 ohms and you are having 4 ohms. By replacing these two elements, so how will you replace? That is 2 is in parallel with 4. That is 2 into 4 by 2 plus 4. 1 by R equivalent equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 formula. So here you will get 8 by 6. By keeping this 8 by 6 here, it becomes your 3 by 4. Just replace these two resistors with a single resistor. So this becomes your 3 by 4. Here you will have a 4 ohms resistor. Here you will have 2 ohms resistor. Here you will have 4 ohms resistor. So this is your simplified circuit by replacing these two resistors. Now tell me how these 3 by 4 ohms and 4 ohms, these two are in series. So you can replace this circuit with a single resistor with 3 ohms and 4 ohms in series. So if resistors are in series, then they are added together. So 3 by 4 plus 4 becomes 4 plus 3 by 4 in series with 4. 4 4 is 16. 16 plus 4. Here you will get. So 4 by 3 is in series with your 4 ohms. So 4 by 3.
12 plus 4, 16. 16 by 3. So you can replace these two resistors. You can replace these two resistors with a single resistor. That is your 16 by 3.
This 16 by 3 is in, it comes into the parallel. This is your 2 ohms, and here we need to connect our remaining 4 ohms. Now tell me, here have, this is the open circuit. Now how this 16 by 3 and 2 are, these two are in parallel. So the equivalent resistance becomes 16 by 3 into 2 by 16 by 3 plus 2. The equivalent becomes 16 into 2, 32. 32 by 3 plus 3 into 6, 22 by 3. So this 3 gets cancelled. So what you will get here? Here one resistor, that is 32 by 22, and one more resistor, that is your 4 ohms, and this is your point of A, B. Now tell me how this 32 by 22 and 4 ohms, these two are in series. So the equivalent resistance becomes 32 by 22 plus 4. So which is equal to 32 plus 88 by 22. 32 by 88 plus 22 becomes, it becomes 8 plus 2, 10, 8 plus 3, so 11, so 120. So 120 by 22. So 120 by 22 becomes 60 by 11. So how much amount of value here you got between A and B?
we got a value of 60 by 11. This is a, we came to end of this Thevenin's theorem. So we got RTH is equal to how much amount of value we got? 60 by 11 ohms. So according to Thevenin's theorem, this total circuit can be replaced with one resistance and one voltage source, that is your VThevenin and RThevenin. So what is the value? Here we got VThevenin is equal to, here we got VThevenin, VTH is equal to, here we got VTH is equal to 60 by 11. Got VTH is equal to 60 by 11 volts, and in series with a RTH, that is 60 by 11, we got 60 by 11. Now connect. So these two elements, this VTH and RTH, represent this total box, and now you here you can place, this is your time for placing your resistor, that is your load resistor. What is the load resistor we have selected? That is your RL equal to 8 ohms. In the first step we have subtracted or we have excluded. Now we are trying to include. Now I want to find current in this one. So how to find the current? The current, these two are in series. So the total current, that current is equal to total resistance by total voltage by total resistance. Total voltage is 60 by 11. 60 by 11 by 60 by 11 plus 8. This is RTH and this is RL. So 60 by 11 by, this is your 88. 60 plus 88 by 11. So 11 gets cancelled. How much amount of value you will get? 60 by 88, 148. So if you subtract, if you divide this one, so how much amount of value you will get here? 4 15 ja, 15 4 ja 60, and 4 3 ja 12, 4 7 ja 28. So how much value you got? 15 by 37. So what is the procedure? Here we got the current through the 8 ohms is 15 by 37. Just verify this answer with your, that is our introduction to Thevenin's theorem. In that we have considered the same problem, but we have followed by applying KCL and KVL. We got some value. Whether this value is equal to that value, just verify. Now what is the comfort you are going to get by using this Thevenin's theorem? If I want to find, so is there any involvement of this load resistance while finding VTH and RTH? Just recollect, because there is no any involvement of this 8 ohms, because in the proceeding to the step 1 only, in the step 1 only we have excluded this 8 ohms. In the step 1 only we have excluded this 8 ohms. So there is no any involvement of this 8 ohms in this VTH, in this RTH. So if I change this 8 ohms, if I want to find the current across this, if I want to find current I by changing this RL, will it affect VTH and RTH? No, because this VTH and RTH won't depend upon this RL value. So here I am trying to find, here the comfort you are going to see here, if I change this value, to 10 ohms, what is the procedure? Again we need to find VTH and RTH? No, directly find your RL. I through RL is equal to, again RTH and this RL are in series. So total voltage, that is the source voltage by total resistance, RTH plus RL. Just substitute over it. So 60 by 11 by 60 by 11 plus 10. What do you get? 60 by 11 by
60 plus 10 into 11 into 10, that is 170.
So 170 by 11 gets cancelled. Here you will get your 60 by 170. That is 11 into 10 is 110.
110 plus 60, 130. So 60 by 11 is your current, this is a current flowing through this 10 ohms, that is 60 by 170. So is there any procedure whether I have started? So here we are replacing the load resistance with the 8 ohms to 10 ohms. Whether I have started from no. Just by using this formula only, just I got this 8 ohms. If I want to find it 20 ohms, I can able to easily find. Just replacing this 60 by 11, 60 by 11 in a place of 10, I need to write 20. If I want to find it 200 ohms, just replace this 10 with the 200. If I want to find it 300 ohms, just replace this 10 with the 300 ohms. So how much, like how this VTH, how this Thevenin's theorem made your problems convenient, like without replacing, just without doing your problem from the first step, just we are using your VTH and RTH, we are trying to find your current across any element by having n number of choices for your load resistance. So this is a comfort you are going to get with the Thevenin's theorem. Thank you. We'll see in the next class about your some more problems and your Norton's theorem.